Xbox Game Pass cannot be stopped. There's just too much. There's too much going on. And again, my question to you guys is: do you remember a time? Because I don't think there's ever been a time where there's been so many games releasing in such a short window, and they're all super high quality. And obviously, this part is the trick question. They're all given to you for free in Game Pass. But outside of that, I mean, has there been a moment where there's been that many high quality first party titles and just, I guess, just games in general released? Because I feel like I don't remember a time.
2007,
especially in the first half. But was it in the first half of the year?
It was the entire freaking year because Xbox had a whole bunch of exclusivities. So they had Mass Effect. That was a Microsoft published game. I think Halo 3 came out that year. BioShock came out that year. And I can go get the list, but it was a lot that just kept coming out. That like Crackdown came out that year. And it just kept going, right? So that year was crazy.
Or was it crazy for that time, or was it like this?
Yeah, even for that time, it was just nuts. It was a pretty crazy year. So yeah, it was. There was a lot of third-party stuff that was insane, but also a lot of stuff that was just exclusive to Xbox as well. That was out in 2007. But yeah, it was a crazy ass year. I think Super Mario Galaxy on Nintendo was also that for Nintendo, right? And PlayStation. Did they have like Uncharted or something like that came out that year? So like it was an insane year all across, but Xbox really had a lot of stuff. So yeah, it was an insane year. I don't know if you can really like say like that nowadays we have so many games that it's hard to say that even that would compare, because ultimately there's just so much to play, right? So we get so much more.
I think
but if you're talking high level AAA,
that's what I'm saying. Like for that time,
I think it was
it felt like, oh wow, this is
back then
a
it
lot.
As far as like
yes.
AAA releases, there was a lot of AAA releases, right? Now we get a lot more smaller releases, but they're big enough games. They're still huge games, right? But you don't get that high AAA level, whatever you want to call it, right? But there were a bunch of AAA games.
Yeah, but if you think about 2025, you're gonna get all these games coming from Xbox, right? And we got more coming towards the end of the year, right? If you're just looking at it as a whole, and then you're gonna have Nintendo, right, who's releasing games this year on top of all those games. Then you're gonna have essentially Grand Theft Auto 6 come out and fucking destroy worlds when it releases. Like I don't know if pound for pound you're gonna 2007 stands up to now. I mean, maybe in hindsight, when you think of like the importance of those franchises that released, you know, in that respect, yeah. But I'm talking about just pure like amount of games that are coming out that are just high quality, right? Big or small, doesn't matter. High quality is really the thing. Like there's been so many games, like even like what's it, Blueprints or whatever the fuck. Like
yeah, I mean that's obviously an indie game, that's right?
Coming out. Yeah, but it's like talking, meaning it's a game of the year conversation for a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
Expedition 33, another indie game of the year conversation.
Wow, South of Midnight, game of the year conversation as well.
You know, and then we had Oblivion.
Yeah, so I mean, you had Modern Warfare that was released in 2007. Orange Box, right, which had Portal, Half-Life 2, right, all that. Yep. Then you had Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed, Super Mario Galaxy, Crysis, the first Crysis, Uncharted, the first one. You had Rock Band. You had the first Stalker, you know, Forza Motorsport 2, but that's probably smaller, and on and on and on. There was in Metro Prime 3, like it just, there was so much that just came out that year. God of War 2, you know, it was an insane.
Because PlayStation was still in the run of competing.
Yeah,
trying to.
So they had, so I don't know. Well, either way, I can tell you right now, right, for most people, this year is just, I mean, what
It
the
is
fuck is
crazy,
happening?
yeah. And like
It's
if you
crazy.
take all the indie games that Expedition 33 technically is an indie game, but does it feel like an indie game?
No.
Adamfall is that an indie game? I mean, does it feel this is the thing? It's hard to blur. The lines have been blurred at this point. It's very tough to tell, right? So, just because there's a couple hundred people working on it, does it make it that much better? I don't know. I don't know anymore, right? Because 30 people made Expedition 33. Does that game feel like it's like it's one of the highest rated games of the year, right? Blueprint. How many people worked on that? It's an indie game, right? So it's just the way it is. Split Fiction is the third one. Again, it's a small team, right? So it is what it is. But are those like not good games? If you compare that to what came out in 2007, obviously they are pretty impressive, right? But back then those were also impressive. But that was a killer year for like new franchises: BioShock, Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed, right? Crackdown, Super Mario Galaxy, Crisis, Uncharted, right? These are all new franchises that started. Stalker, right? Those are all new franchises. Rock Band, right? These are big franchises that started that year, right? So you just gotta give it to them
no
that
longer
they
with
had
us.
a bunch.
Some no longer with us. That's true.
That's true, unfortunately. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, like it was a crazy year, right? So Portal, like, oh my god. What a freaking game. And then they had Portal 2, I think, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the crazy thing is again, this is just games, which is cool, right? The bigger thing and the reason I titled this, it's Game Pass, right? Game Pass is the thing that is now, it's gone to a level where no one really believed it would ever get to, right? Like, even when we thought of these games, right? Like, let's be real. When we saw Microsoft buying up all these things, cool, right? But we didn't think that they were going to be dropping fucking
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a, you know what I'm saying? Like in such a short amount of time. Normally
Yeah.
these games are spread out. Maybe you're getting 4 games, but like Xbox is delivering crazy amounts of games first party wise, and then Game Pass, they're getting these day and dates that are fucking high caliber, bro. Like, Game Pass is a whole new beast now. Like, it cannot be denied, bro. Like, I don't, like the world that we live in, where people look at Game Pass as it's like, I see it all the time, and it's wild that these dudes are so butthurt that they come out here and say that this is the welfare pass, or for broke people, or people, you just like to rent your games, and it's like what the like,
Yeah.
what are you, how far
Put the crack pipe
how
down.
far did Sony put themselves
Yeah.
into your mouth? You know what I'm saying? Like, how far did they go that you can't see? No matter what you see, you just can't seem to get it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point? You're definitely muted, Hargeet.
Hargeet, you're muted.
Super muted. Super muted.
Sorry. Yeah. So Amit Kumar brings up The Witcher. That was another one in 2007. But yeah, no, you're right. This is just one of those things about like people are so full of hatred about a freaking console. I like whatever. Like, just why not just play games? Like, look, if you want to buy the games, obviously buy the games. It's not like Microsoft saying don't buy them. Buy them. Have fun. Whatever. Right. But if you want a service that gives you a whole bunch of different games, it's hard to beat. It's really crazy, but whatever.
So I think that's a big deal, though. Like the quality of games that are being released and put right into Game Pass. So if you were going to go ahead and be selective and, pick, a handful of games to play for the whole year, you would kind of miss out on some of these games that, are literally, again, just being dropped into Game Pass, and probably spend more money and end up spending more money than you pay for Game Pass in a freaking year, where you have access to all of these games. So it's definitely crazy the way that this is playing out. And I have to say, we talked about the Nintendo Switch before. And by the way, we obviously, we love the shade. And we went ahead, I put in my cart the bundle with Mario Kart just to see if it was nice and easy. And it was nice and easy. And I checked later and it was still in there. Like, it wasn't something that was like, oh my gosh, I need to go ahead and get this. And then I saw someone put up that they bought it for 450 to go ahead and sell it for 800. So let's hope that this is not a PlayStation situation and these things don't get bought to just sit somewhere thinking that they're gonna go ahead and make money off of it.
Well, I think Broke Boy said he bought 3 Switches, one for him, one for his, I think he said his brother, and then one that he might sell.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're selling out. It's
yeah.
hard
Now
to
they're
get.
selling out. Now it's. I mean, but part of me is like, is it selling out, or is this?
You remember?
Is this
a PlayStation move where they were sold out because they weren't selling out like they thought they would? We'll see. We'll see where these numbers.
I don't know if it's
come in and how legit they are.
I don't know.
But again, when it comes to a decision like that, and you start thinking of like, okay, $80 for Nintendo games, right? Yes, not all, but obviously the ones that I think I saw the Kirby game in there. The one, not the new one, the forgotten, I forget the name, forgotten something.
The latest one.
The latest one that came out for the Switch.
They're doing the Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, $80 too. Just like Mario
with
Kart.
DLC though, with the DLC, right? It has extra DLC that they've made for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Still, it's an old game.
Yeah, so the game 40, they're charging 30 for
exactly. Exactly. So the point is that when you go ahead and you start thinking about everything that's in Game Pass, and you're like, okay, what am I going to buy a Switch for? Especially for us, right? When you think about what you want,
this is the beauty
Nintendo
of choice,
for.
Right? This is the beauty of choice.
I mean,
open market. Choose what you want.
Game Pass literally is the reason why we didn't get a Switch. Right?
But yes, thank you. That's what I'm trying to get to. When you start thinking of what game are you going to stop playing to, again, for us, we're looking at Nintendo games, right? So we're thinking, the new Mario or the new Zelda, the new, Nintendo, right? And it's like, okay, you have Mario Kart for us, and the Donkey Kong just didn't seem like something that I needed to get in there and play. I need to see a heavy duty lineup before I go ahead and
it's totally fair.
And buy a Switch too. I mean, right now I see more value in the pisser than I do in the Switch. And that's the truth.
Yeah, it's definitely not pretty, but again, like, it's crazy because Game Pass just makes it where you have to, like, you can now kind of say that to yourself. You could look at it and be like, do I not have enough shit to play when there's nothing 100% calling me over there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
and
look, Oblivion dropped and I dropped everything else to play, right? So you put a good enough game out and we'll drop other stuff to play it. If there was something coming to the Switch that was like a must-have, like what I thought Metroid Prime 4 was going to be, right? I thought Metroid Prime 4 was going to be that game for me, which is going to be like, oh my God, they're going to do crazy stuff with the next gen Switch. And it's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. It's literally the Switch version, just with the little extra, because you unlock the 120 FPS or whatever and the mouse and shit like that. But like that is where we are, right? Where Game Pass is now able to take down console releases for somebody like me, right? Where normally I would have bought it. You know what I'm saying? Like normally it would have happened. But fucking Game Pass puts everything in perspective. It's like, why am I going to waste the money? You know what I'm saying?
It does. And we had the discussion. I love that you said now it's kind of just going into consoles as well, because the games were the thing, right? Before, they wanted you to go ahead and put your game in Game Pass and it'll give you a bag, and now it's like you should want your game in Game Pass. It has to be terrifying right now out there to go ahead and put out a game knowing that, there's a subscription service where there's so much. It's difficult to go ahead, and we did it ourselves. Like, you buy a game and you do this all the time too, Hargi. You buy it, you put it on the side until you get to it because you're playing something else, and
Yeah, we used to do
before
that
you
shit all
know
the
it, the
time.
game is like 90% off, and you're like, shit, I didn't even open it yet. But this
Right.
eliminates that situation, and it's kind of, going into the consoles as well. Like, why am I going to get this to let it sit there? I think it was Mac I saw who told you, he said, CMoney holds strong. My OLED is just collecting dust.
Facts. There's
And it's like, that's literally what
so
would have
many
been
switches
taking
in my
place.
house collecting dust.
Yeah.
I wish the Joy-Cons weren't so shit, because then I would trade in
Yeah.
all these switches, but you can't trade in a switch without the fucking Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And
We'll have to buy.
so many dead Joy-Cons
Mhm.
that are out in our house. Like, it's crazy. They were not
Yeah, I
built
mean,
to last.
Hargi, you're muted. Oh,
I'm
no,
not
no,
muted.
you're not
Am I?
muted.
You can hear me,
No,
right? Okay.
no, you were muted. I thought you were talking.
Yeah, no. So, it like, take the Switch out of the equation. It's just, in general, like, Game Pass is sort of changing the dynamic here, and that was always going to happen, right? And I think the reason PlayStation fans are so annoyed with Game Pass is they know it's going to work. Eventually, this is just going to be the way, and it's going to make PlayStation irrelevant. It just is. Sorry, but that's the way it is. People are already starting to come over to this side, because how can you deny it? How can you take all these games and say, no, you know what? I want to pay 70, 80 bucks for each one of these games. Okay, cool. Or you can just get it in a service that costs, like, if you get discounts, like 120 bucks a year, and you just get everything on PC and console. Like, now,
Bro.
or even if you pay full price, 240 bucks. It's
just this month
just a
alone.
crazy good deal. Like, what do you do?
Imagine, so this month alone, if you're a PlayStation person who bought Horizon 5, right? Forza Horizon 5,
Mhm.
you bought Indiana Jones, you bought Oblivion, you bought Atomfall, you bought Expedition 33. That's 5 games right there. Between what, 50 and 100 for what they bought the Forza and Indiana Jones. Bro, you even at $50 a pop, you just spent $250. You just spent a year of Game Pass on 5 games in the span of 3 weeks, and that covered you a whole year of Game Pass at full price, 2 years if you find the deals. Like, what? It's crazy talk. It's crazy talk. It makes absolutely no sense. But the real thing, the real answer is that none of them did that. None of them bought all those games.
Mhm.
They bought the 1 or 2 that they can afford to buy, and then they said, oh, maybe next month I'll get the other one. Or when I finish this one, I'll go buy another one. Okay. That's the reality of what took place, right? Some people spent their whole gaming budget for this year in the last 3 weeks. And that's just the reality of what it is, right? That's why a game like Ghost of Yote is in so much danger of not being massively successful, because there's only so many dollars for the majority of people, right?
That's the next topic, right? Because that's a whole interesting debate to have.
It is. It is 100%. But that you're right. Thank you for saying that to put us back on track. With that's not the topic. So, but the point is that Game Pass is just literally the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, it's obviously I see it this way, and I know that I think the majority of people do. But like when you think about it, like Demo, when you think about Game Pass and what it's become, right? Did you think it would get here? Do you think this is Like, did you expect it to be like this?
I don't know, because I did see what Xbox was trying to do, which made me, believe in their plan. I saw how they were trying to unify gaming and makes it, more accessible and affordable. So I was like, oh, the rep. I was like, okay, shit, this is a cool idea, because I do have Netflix and I do have, other things like Crunchyroll, etc., which I utilize to watch different stuff that at the end of the day I'm not even watching, but I just keep it more there just in case one day I decide to turn on my TV and watch some TV. But going back to the question that you asked, I thought that it was gonna be a great thing, but I didn't think that it was gonna be this big, in the sense that having this sort of cadence, right? I was expecting. I mean, Phil Spencer said like what, like 3 games a year or something. He was talking about it, like maybe like 3, 4 games a year, right? But we're looking
Yeah,
at like
4 games.
we only in May, and we already like what? This is crazy. Think about it, in the year we opened up the year with the Ninja Gaiden 2 Black remake. Uh, that was fucking dope. It was really well done. It was a very old game that was remade or remastered, right? I think it was a remaster, but it looked incredibly good, and it was almost like a new game, right? Then what did they do? They bring in Avowed, which was amazing in my opinion. They kept firing with South of Midnight, and in between they are being adding games to Game Pass too. So let's not forget they added Diablo 3. They added what is it, the Blizzard thing? I got my Xbox right here right now. I could literally
Eternal
tell you.
Strands launched by the
Yeah.
end of
Eternal
January as
Strands.
well.
Yeah. They continue to add,
Phenomenal
like,
game.
the thing about Game Pass is that they don't depend solely of what Xbox, right? Produce
Yep.
or produces, right? They could, like, well, there was a year that Xbox didn't have. Oh, I think it only had like one game, first party, and Game Pass kept me fed throughout the whole freaking year. They kept on bringing, games in there. They won, or even games that are like fairly new, but they go into the service, and you're like, oh shit, I've been wanting to play that game, and you know how convenient. So the matter of fact is, like, this is super convenient for people like me who are content creators and hardcore gamers that love to play different types of games all the time. But it's getting to the point that I'm like, okay, I understand now, and I can't keep up with what Xbox is doing and the amount of games that they're dropping and how long these games take to finish. For example, Oblivion, you could literally spend thousands of hours playing Oblivion by itself. Avowed, you have a bunch of freaking hours in About. I finished my playthrough with 70 hours, and I didn't even do it at 100%, right? And then
Yeah.
you keep going and going, and it's like, wow, it adds up, and it's like, we are in trouble, and we really don't know what games to play and when, because we have so much. And look, that's the whole point. It's almost like Netflix. You go in there looking for a movie, and boom, you get, or for a series, and you're like, oh shit, but they got the Korean series. Oh shit, I kind of want to watch one episode. This one is interesting. Like, what is it, like?
Yes.
Physical 100, and you're like, okay, this ain't shit, but let me watch one episode. It's like, oh, it was actually good. Let me keep watching it, and then next thing you know, it's like you get caught up. You watch the whole thing, so it made me feel like they closer to the goal. The way that I'm seeing this is like what Xbox, their plan, and what they want to be looking like every year, and hopefully they can deliver, and hopefully every year can be as strong. I know you guys put the question out there about this year being better than 2007, and I do believe it's way better, and I'll tell you why. Because these games right now are accessible to me, not only through my Xbox, but through the cloud, through my phone, through it's just like so much easier. Back in the day, I would have had to go into Blockbuster, to rent the game, wait for GameFly to send me a copy. I don't even think that in 2007 GameFly existed. It was only Blockbuster. So I don't know, bro. Now it's easier. Now it's more accessible. There was never a time in my life that I've played as many games When it comes to variety, of course, I have way more time before when I was younger. But when it comes to variety and being able to
Yeah.
look at, let me try Diablo 3. Like I never play whatever. Oh, oh, what, I just gonna play NHL 25. I'm not even into
Yeah, I
hockey.
did the same
But-
thing. It's
but-
funny that you said that. I
but-
literally did it the other day. I was like, fuck it. Let me see what this is. I don't play hockey.
You can just
Oh,
go
it's
ahead and
fun.
download a game like Expedition 33. I wouldn't spend $1 to buy that game. And look, I'm not saying that is because the game is bad. It's because it's
No,
turn-based.
yeah, I get that.
So I don't really do turn-based like that. So the
Mhm.
fact that it's on Game Pass, it's like, oh, as easy as 1, 2, 3. Press 8, download, try it out. You don't like it, fine. But now imagine trying out these games, but instead of being able to save all this money buying these games and not even completing them. So Game Pass gets rid of that, and it's almost as you can go in raw, uh,
Raw?
with no fears. Yeah, like it's like you
Well,
got this freedom.
Really, yes.
Yeah, you can go in there and be like, woo,
All
let
you
it
do is get a
go.
snip, dog. You just get a snip,
Empty,
and then you can go in
empty me.
raw. No
Empty me.
fear.
No
You know what I'm saying? Just
fear.
snip, snip.
Balls
It's quick.
deep. Balls deep. No
Funny.
fear.
Oh, Steve.
No fear. And it's like it feels like that. Like you can game without fear. Try out games like what with nothing to lose.
Mhm.
Nothing to lose. All you need is a little bit of time, which you as an adult is what you really don't have. But I feel they're really, really, really close to what they want to do, and people are starting to see the consistency of Xbox, and they're starting to put some respect on their name. Look, and everybody's saying like, buy your games, don't rent them. Like, screw you. I pay my Game Pass. And if
How
I don't
do
want
I
to pay
care?
it, I have that option too of grinding Microsoft points and not paying for it. But look, sadly, like I said, I'm sorry, I don't really have the time to grind for points, so I'm paying, right? And look, $20 a month, spending that on gaming, and and I still buy games. I still go on Xbox and buy games. I still buy games on Steam. It's just like as a
Yeah.
gamer now, I feel like, oh shit, like I do have a little extra because I didn't buy that $70 game that I had in mind, and it showed up
That's
in
the
Game
thing,
Pass.
right? With
And
that
it's
extra
like,
money, if you
but at the
want
end,
something that
yeah,
it's leaving Game Pass or if you want something outside of Game Pass, that money's there. My
and
girl Becca, who's in the chat, Power World was in Game Pass. Before it left Game Pass, she bought the game. And that's what happens, right? If you want to go
Mhm.
ahead and you love something that you need to have it, then you still have that option. That option exists. It's not
Exactly.
off the table because you have Game Pass.
And baby, we got our boy real quick. The homie Game
Game
Shark.
Shark,
Get
what's
that $5 super
good?
chat, my
there you
dude.
go.
Let's go.
Thank you, mama, for being. It says me broke? Question mark. I spend a minimum $20 a month on gaming. What's their minimum contribution?
Exactly.
What's a twinkle pads?
Let's
Twinkle,
go.
twinkle, baby. So, it's the
And
truth.
I don't know if you made it a topic, but I mean, there's a bunch of games leaving PS Plus, a bunch of first party
Oh
games.
yeah, I know. It's like
leaving
20
PS
something
Plus.
games that are leaving, and
Uh-huh.
a bunch of PlayStation first party games that are leaving.
And bro,
Yeah.
they raise the price, they take away games, and here it is, Xbox giving you a bunch of games that I honestly don't even have the time. Look, they put the crime scene cleaner simulator. I've been wanting to try it out. That the game looks interesting, and then like I haven't had the time. The blueprints, a lot of people are talking really good about it. I haven't had the time. It's just like I'm endangered. I'm so stressed. I mean, this is a good stress to have, right? But like I was talking to my friends because we are huge Division fans, the Division, and they announced the DLC for May something, and I'm like, my homeboys are hitting me up on Discord, like, oh, we're gonna be getting into that. Like, I don't know about that, bro. Hold up, I got Doom, I still, got Elder Scrolls, Towerborn is about to drop, so it's literally I got homework, right? I got games to play, so it is just like funny that some games act really hard to get when there's so much out here, right? And in my opinion, I feel like we're going through an amazing year, and 2026 is possibly going to be even better and more spicier. In 2027, I can already smell it. He's coming through with a vengeance. So yeah, exciting times to be part of the Xbox ecosystem. And the beauty, bro, all these fucking games is that they dropping everywhere. They're not keeping anybody away from these games. This is like, come on, bro, you gotta love it, man. Because I mean, I could play the next Call of Duty with my homeboys. They didn't have to buy an Xbox. If it was the other way around, what was gonna happen? They were gonna make that exclusive. At least for 1 year until they realize, oh shit, what have we done? We destroyed the franchise. Nobody wants to play it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm just glad that they're doing what they're doing. I'm not saying that the good guys, we got to keep an eye on their, on their, you know what I mean, on their ups and downs. But I feel like Xbox is on the right path. Games galore. That's what we want. Everybody asks for games, so now don't complain. Now hold your horses. And just take it, man. Just bite that pillow. Yeah, that's how it is.
Just bite the pillow. God damn.
Just bite the pillow. It'll help. That's what it say. It helps.
Oh man.
When there's no loop, you bite the pillow. PD.
Who knew? Who knew?
That's all you needed.
Hargy, go ahead, bud. What do you feel about this year?
I mean, look, I've been saying that like Microsoft or Xbox is going to be kind of just crazy, year after year after year. It's just the way it is. They have too many studios. Not too many. They have too many studios for it to not be like this, right? This is just what they're going to be giving you, and they're still going to do third-party things. They're still going to be putting in third-party games. You won't see as many like AAAs. But you will see these AA like level games, right? Like Expedition 33. There's been several of them this year, and there'll be several more. And then they partnered up to give you Ninja Gaiden 4.
Facts.
Like that's not a joke. That's crazy, right? And so this is what you get. This is who they are now. And like there's still more. We know of like rumored games that they're partnering with other studios on, and they're going to be
many more
hopefully announcing 1 or 2 of those. And like there's the potential that we're gonna get a shadow drop of the Gears Marcus Phoenix collection, and it's just crazy. There's so much going on that like Oblivion, a 20-year-old game being remastered, is taking over gaming across the board. It's the top game on PlayStation. It's the top game on Steam, like outside of freaking Dota and Counter-Strike, which is always a top game. Like it's like this, it's just nuts. This is who they are, and it's just gonna be like this year after year after year after year. It's going to be undeniable. At some point, you just have to take the hey, Xbox is the publisher that people want to play. That it's the games they want to play. That's it, right? So like, is there another publisher that even comes close? I don't know that there is anymore. I don't know. You could say, hey, Nintendo makes a lot of cool games that people want to buy, but not to this level. It's insane. What they have is insane, right? Because you have to like not forget they still have that mobile side where people play their freaking mobile games and keep printing money for them. They have that. They still have the game that I still don't understand, Minecraft, that just continuously keeps going and going and going. And oh, by the way, they just happen to have Call of Duty that comes out every year. Oh, they still have World of Warcraft that people keep playing, and that has a subscription of its own, right? And it just keeps going. You're like, dude, what? How do you keep up with that? Well, fine. Go find the competitor. They've been hedging their bets against people like Google and Amazon, maybe even Apple coming into this, as far as a competitor, not PlayStation. They've just said to hell with it. PlayStation is piddlywinks. We don't care. They're just we'll keep the console world going. You can keep having fun with that. Keep pretending that matters. Fine, right? And Nintendo can keep doing whatever Nintendo does. Fine, but they've just moved on, and they're gonna keep becoming the publisher that people will want to keep up with because they have the games. It's just the way it is. Like, who else really competes? I could say Sega. Okay, Sega probably has like a quarter of the games that Xbox is putting out, even with all those redos. Like they're remaking a whole bunch of their older games. Great, that's all awesome, but still, the level of output is just not equal. There's really no other publisher that comes close to what Xbox is doing. And that's just the way it is. And it's going to keep going, right? They're not done buying either. So
I'm waiting, man. I just want something. Give me something, Xbox. Buy something, goddammit.
What's next? I don't know, but like it just keeps going. And so this is it. Year after year, you're just going to keep seeing this. Because like once, like I think CMoney, you said this, like once the games that we get from now are done, well, that studio is now making the next set of games, and it just keeps lining up. It just keeps lining up. We will just have year after year after year of just like this. It'll just keep going and going and going. You might not like some of the games, but you'll like some of the games. It's just the way it is. They're going to have like 10 freaking games first party. And what are you going to say? Every single one of them sucks? Good luck. You're going to like something, right? It's just the way it goes.
Facts.
And like, I don't know if you can really, ignore Xbox anymore. And that was kind of what they wanted to do. The competition is you will engage with us. That's it. They just want engagement. So you as a customer will engage with us, whether you're on mobile, whether you're on PC, whether you're on a console, you're going to engage with us. And if they're on the other consoles too, who cares, right? They're just saying, hey, come on over. We want your money. Let's go, right? And hey, and we get Game Pass. You just, how do you deny the value that you're getting with the amount of games that they put in that thing? That day and date, as long as they keep doing it, is an unbelievable value. It's just, it's a crazy amount that you just keep getting. So, well, if people want to keep pushing narratives, good for them. I think it's starting to like hit them now because there's just no way you can ignore it.